There's one habit that if you do, will easily attract to you money, love, and success. And when I started to apply it, everything in my life changed. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you the one habit that changes everything when it comes to manifesting money, love, and success. And I would say that there has been, these last 2 or 3 years for me, I've created or had more abundance in my life than ever before. And when I look back at the things that really made a difference, there were a couple key things that did it. And in this video, I wanna share with you the habit of that and how that changes you at your core level. Now, first off, the habits, what we do consistently every single day over time begins to compound. Now, first off, let me tell you that there are 2 or 3 things that when I applied in my life, changed everything about me. And let me share with you why it changed everything and how you can apply this in your life. So, first off, what you habitually do every single day becomes who you are. It becomes a pattern, and then reality is a reflection of that way you are being. Now, here's the important thing that a lot of people don't know about habits, is the habits that you do consistently forms what is called your identity. So maybe you've heard me say before that your reality, you get in life a reflection of who you are being. You don't always get what you want, because sometimes what you want, you feel lack of and you resist it, but you always get a reflection of who you are being. Now, who you are being, the identity, is formed from habit. They say that a lot of our identity as well is formed by our subconscious mind, which is something that has been on repetition. So when I was looking at my old life, for example, my old life, so long ago, it was like 3 years ago, I was working a 9-to-5 job that I wasn't passionate about. I went into work every day. I had a habit of thinking negatively about work. I'd go in and really resist it. I had a habit years ago of, I mean, you could say it was a habit. It was a habit of taking something called Adderall, which is what I would take for having ADHD, what they call ADHD, and that was like a pharmaceutical thing I was prescribed, but that was something that I was taking. Let me say as well, believing that I had ADHD and taking Adderall, that started to form my identity. People would say things about my energy and how much energy I had or how my energy was sporadic, and then I would feel like there was something wrong with me. So that it's not just the habit of what you do, but it's also the habit of thought that you have about it. And sometimes when we have these disorders, we may assume that this is very negative and then feel that negative emotion about it. If I look through, there were many habit thoughts I used to have about feeling unworthy due to my past. You probably, I mean, I've talked about that in a lot of videos, but just in general, I wanted to show you that the habits you consistently do form your reality. My reality was exactly equal to the habits that I had. Then there was a huge transition for me. So the transition was that one thing I did with the whole Adderall thing, taking Adderall, having ADHD, is I started to meditate. I came across meditation, the research of it, because I was experiencing the harsh side effects of taking Adderall. Like you can't sleep very much, you can't eat very much. And I was like, oh, I want to be able to like eat and sleep, the bare necessities. So I was reading online about how powerful meditation is, and I came across research on it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna try this. Now, here's the thing. The first couple days of meditating, nothing really happened. I actually felt a lot of resistance, but then eventually what I did is I started to relax into it. And instead of trying to control my thoughts, I started observing my thoughts. Then I started to get a good result from it. After 2 or 3 days, I started to feel very different. So what happened is I gave up that habit of doing Adderall, which is what I believed. I believed that I needed it because doctor told me that I did and that it would help, so I took it. Then what I did is I started to meditate, and after about a week, I decided to do it every single day. I started to get great results from it, and I started feeling different. I said, okay, I'm gonna start meditating now. Over the course of a month or 2 of doing it, guess what happened? My self-image changed. Almost everything about my life changed. My energy changed. People would ask me what I was doing at work because my energy was so different. I was much more calm. I was much more grounded. And that changed my identity. Then I looked to even I used to see myself as a 9-to-5er going to a job that I didn't really care for. Then what I did is I decided, okay, every single day I'm going to create a video. You know the story. And then eventually, after about 3 weeks of doing that, a video went viral, and then the YouTube channel started to explode. And more so powerful than just making the daily videos and like the YouTube algorithm going crazy is that making the daily videos for me changed my identity. It changed who I was being in reality. And here's the thing about habits. The more you do your habits, more you have a habit that changes your identity, the more it changes your life. So here's the cool thing too. It doesn't have to be some crazy hard habit. It could be something very easy. And over time, think about it. You do something in a 24-hour period in a day, and then you do it tomorrow, and then you do it the next day. There's not great results until a little bit down the road when then you see everything about your life has changed. It's one habit that changes everything. That's what this video is about. I attracted money, love, and success into my life by doing one thing every day. What was that thing? For me, it was doing what I'm passionate about. And the reason, the one habit that you must do, or to get and attract money, love, and success, it will change upon each person. What if your passion is creating that of art? Then maybe the thing for you is, if you were to create art every single day, you would then find that things in your life begin to happen in an explosion. The other things begin to happen. Now, here's the thing too. Get down to the core of the kind of way that you could maybe challenge the current way you are, because the current habits you have are very comfortable. And when you decide to challenge that by doing something your old identity would never do, that's where things change. I was resistant to meditation in the beginning. I'm not one of those people that meditate. It looked like a lot of people that meditated, like they may have not like drank or like smoked or done stuff like that. I was like, they look square and boring. I want nothing to do with that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this meditation thing because there's science that shows how powerful it is. So I decided to do it, and guess what? It began to change my identity. I think it's an interesting thing when people do yoga. Also, when people do yoga, like especially people that end up maybe going from not doing it at all to doing it like every day. Like when you go to a Bikram yoga class, they'll tell you, oh, you got to come every day for a week or something. Like they try to motivate you to come every day for a while to really see the benefits. What happens is a lot of people will go, and then they may keep going. It begins to change their identity. They become like a yogi person. They see themselves as the person with like the mat, that they carry the mat, and then they go to the yoga class. There's a place here in Vegas that's like a life. I think it's called True Fusion. It's like a lifestyle. They have yoga and these boot camp classes and stuff, but it's like trendy and hip and music. It's an identity thing. And when people go consistently, they start to see themselves differently. So the key to this is understanding that there's one habit that you can do every single day that would begin to change your self-image. And for me, even now, and this is what you do. You look at how you are being. What are you consistently doing right now? And be honest with yourself. Become aware of some of the habits you have. And then realize that there's probably one habit you have that's keeping you in a certain reality. Maybe it's a certain way you're thinking about something. It's something that you're doing every day. A lot of times doing has a very powerful effect on our identity. Sometimes even more powerful than just thinking. Because doing, it's actually wired it into physical reality. But be aware of maybe one habit that you can just decide, this is not who I am anymore. It's not what I do. It's not even just not what I do anymore. It's not who I am anymore. One of the biggest human desires there is to remain consistent to the way that we see ourselves. And for example, if you were to go over here, you may have heard this analogy before, but this is like a thermometer right here. And if I have this set right here, it is set at 69 degrees. If I were to move this up to, let's say, 74 degrees, what would happen is the heater would actually kick on because it's cold here in Vegas right now, and it would regulate it up to 74. And then if the windows or the doors opened or something and it went down to 72, the heater would kick on and bring it back up. Cybernetic mechanism. It will do everything it can to remain consistent to what you set it at. The same with our self-image. If you see yourself as somebody, I used to see myself also, by the way, as somebody that was lazy. I would literally sit on a couch, and one of the things I'd be wanting to manifest things, and I would just be thinking about it, but I would never really back it up with action. And because of that, my life wasn't really moving very much. But then I realized that making those daily videos, having a 9-to-5 job, working 40 hours a week, and making the daily videos on YouTube, being busy with both, it made me say, wow, I'm somebody that's very focused. Who else is doing this? There's not many people I know that are doing this kind of thing, having this much willpower and this much focus in order to be successful. So even more so powerful than it bringing results is it changed my self-image. I went from somebody that was trying to manifest it just by thinking about it, but not really doing it or following it up with physical action, and from that, it changed my self-image. Then I was able to apply that towards other things, because as I did that, then I was I could apply this towards anything. So I could, instead of just making daily videos, I could do that towards learning marketing, learning how to spread my message in other ways, other things I was passionate about. It changes everything. So the point of this video is money, love, and success is on the other side of doing something you may not be comfortable doing, because your current habits are keeping you in your current reality. If you have a 9-to-5 job, if you have a certain story you're telling yourself, your reality is equal to that story, and the habits are what wires in that identity. If you want to change your life, become aware of your current identity, your current habits that you're doing, become aware of them, and then to start to do something every single day that over time will compound and change your identity. One thing every single day. That's all it takes, is one thing. If you view yourself as out of shape and you were to start going to the gym every single day, even if you just go for 10 minutes a day, that will begin to change your self-image. You won't just be a guy or a girl going to the gym. You're going to be a gym goer. It changes the identity. And if you see yourself as scatterbrained and you start to meditate, guess what? You may start to see yourself as somebody that has this awareness, that has this presence, that has this more powerful energy. And you do that every single day. But here's the thing. There's a little bit of a mere delay. So you'll do it once or twice, 3 times, maybe a week. You might not get the greatest results. But if you remain consistent to it, that's coughed. That's where the magic happens. The magic happens when you do it consistently and you decide, this is who I am now. And real quick, I will share with you one of the easiest ways to understand how to make a habit easy or hard. And it's super easy. It is just between pain and pleasure. Pain and pleasure. Imagine this is a scale. Okay, so pain and pleasure. We will do everything we can to move away from pain, what we believe or what we define to be pain, and we do everything we can to bring us towards pleasure. That's how we're already wired. If we go to the gym every day, we associate some type of pleasure with going to the gym. Maybe we actually enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy going to the gym. Or maybe we associate the pleasure with how we look from going to the gym, or from the pump that we get, or from the knowing and the security we get from going to the gym, and how that makes us feel over time, or how confident that comes from how our body looks. If we don't go to the gym, we may associate a lot of pain with that. I got to drive to the gym. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of I may be sore the next day. I'll feel weird when I'm there. People might judge me if I'm on the treadmill, or whatever the story is. And then that's the thing. If you want to make anything easy for you to do, tip the scales in the different direction. Remember, this is what we believe brings us pleasure or pain. That's up to you, what you define it to be. If you associate pain with staying the same, if you associate pain, I started to associate pain with taking Adderall, because I saw the long-term negative side effects, and I saw what it could do to people. And I just knew that it was addictive, and it didn't have great results from it. I started to associate pain with it. And then I started to associate pleasure with this vision of me being able to meditate, or me being able to easily have my energy managed. Pleasure with being able to eat and sleep, because the side effects of the Adderall were that it was harder to do those things. And as I started to think about it differently, and then wired it in with that one habit, then it becomes easier. And you can do this with everything, by the way. You can do this with anything. You can change the way you view it. I used to think it was very hard for me to, like in the beginning of me making daily videos on YouTube. But then I started to associate pain with staying at that 9-to-5 job, and I started to associate pleasure with making the YouTube videos. And of course I was passionate about it as well, but I actually started to enjoy the process more. So what do you define to be pleasurable and painful in your life? And if you want, you can switch it around and that'll change it. If it's unhealthy food, you eat unhealthy food, it's because you may be associating pleasure with eating the unhealthy food. The stimulation, the short-term effects that the short-term tasty effects of it. And you may be associating pain with eating healthy food because of how bland it tastes. Here's the thing, if you change these around and you start to associate pleasure with eating healthy food because of the way it's going to make you look or the way it's going to make you feel and that new image of yourself, you'll start to enjoy it more. And if you associate pain with the deep fried foods by thinking of and associating, thinking of the pain of being heavier than you want to be, slower and a little bit more hazy than you normally are, that's how this changes, is awareness. Literally write it out like this, pain, and then pleasure, and then decide what the topic is, if it's food, and then write on each side what you will start to associate pleasure with. Eating nutrient-rich foods, eating foods that enliven my body, eating the right portions of food, or whatever it is, with the amount of food I feel satiated but not stuffed. And I associate pain with feeling overly stuffed. I associate pain with eating unhealthy food. As you do this exercise, and then you start to wire it in every single day with that habit, could be the habit of eating healthy every day, it will change your identity. Then you won't be somebody that's just eating healthy food, or you won't be somebody that just has the habit of eating healthy food. You become somebody that's healthy. You see, one habit you do every single day will change your identity. And if you want the habit of making more money, start to be more grateful for what you have. Start to do something that adds value to other people. Have one habit of once a week. If you hate your job, go to it and apply at a job that you don't think you're necessarily ready for, but that will start to change your identity to where you see you could do it. So this will branch you out of your current identity. So there's one habit a day that if you do will change your entire life. What is that habit? It depends on you and what you want to accomplish in your life. It will depend upon the person. But realize that when you change what you do and you do it consistently, it changes who you are. Just decide one habit you want to get rid of and then have one habit you want to be, and it can change everything about you. That's exactly what happened with me doing daily videos on YouTube. That's exactly what happened with me learning meditation. That's exactly what you can do too. There's also one habit that will really help you change what's called your dominant vibration, which is how you think, act, and feel, which changes your outer reality. There's a meditation on raising your vibration permanently that came out on January 1st. It's super powerful. Listen to it right here for 21 days. Make that a habit and watch how your life changes. Read the comments to see what's possible too. That'll increase your belief and make it more probable for you. So go and check out that video, listen to it for 21 days, watch what happens, and as always, I'll see you on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.